One of the nice things about this tip-up system, which I've refined over the years, is you get a couple guys doing this. It does go very, very quickly. As you can notice, we got Dave Anderson here from Warrior Boats. He's out here fishing with us, helping today. As he's slushing the hole for me, I'm getting this thing ready to go. Okay. What we're doing here today is we're setting out tip-ups with large chubs. There's a lot of large and smallmouth bass in this area, walleyes, a lot of pike. They feed big. My theory is they lay around, they don't feed often, but when they do, they feed big, hence the larger chubs. Got somewhat unique pop-up system here, tip-up system. It's actually called a pop-up. It's HT's magnetic polar pop-up. And how these work is they're designed on a magnet. The basic concept is the same, you know, the spool's underwater, doesn't freeze, fish can easily spool the line out. But how these work is there's a magnet on the spool, and they have this body here. They break the magnet. This pops up as your bite indicator. There's a couple ways I have customized these. We do a lot of fishing after dark, is I've ran reflective tape of one color on the body of the tube, another color on the actual bite indicator. All you need to do is pan out with a flashlight. You can easily see all your tip-ups. You can tell if you have a bite. Also helps with snowmobilers, people driving around at night, so they're not running your sets over. On the business end of things, I've spent the Seaguar leader, and it's actually their premier fluoro. They have several different varieties, but this one maintains the flexibility that lets that bait look natural, but yet is tough enough to wrench pike in. And we've had pike over 25 pounds in these things. They don't break, so it's just a good compromise so we can get those bigger fish in. Setting them is pretty straightforward to most folks that are familiar with tip-up fishing. Basically, we want to get down, we're going to want to find our depth. So I found bottom there. I marked that. With these particular pop-up, if you run the length of the pop-up itself, that'll get you about 6 inches off the bottom. I like to run a little higher than a lot of folks do, especially if we have sharper breaking stuff, because I think these fish are looking up as they're coming in. I might run it a foot or two, sometimes 3 or 4 foot high. We simply use a small bobber. We clip that in place. That serves as a line marker. So when we do get a fish, we can easily return to exact same depth. We're right back in them again. And with these chubs, there's a distinct way to hook them that I feel does make a difference. And the generic term for it is reverse hooking them. And what we want to do is we want to just slide that hook slightly alongside the dorsal, just barely nick that skin, run it up towards its head. And what that does, if I can get a hold of him here, is these fish are pinned on that split shot and they'll swim up. And the way they're hooked, they'll flutter down oh so slowly. And they'll come back up and they'll flutter down. And I think that's when these fish are picking them up, is when they're fluttering down. They've got that something wrong with them, falling out of a school, dying type of look to them. Put it in, we just simply drop her down in. Reel it up. One thing I should touch on too, is with this, is I use heavy braided line for the main line. There's no reason to go dainty here, because it serves you no purpose. And what it does help is when there's ice chips, that type of thing, you got a running fish, you can pop it off of there. You're not going to worry about damaging your line. The leader is what does all the work for you, so you want stuff that's tough here. Another quick tip on that as well is you're going to want to run a mono backing onto the spool itself. Otherwise, this stuff will sit there and spin, especially in the cold weather, and just spin around it like a washer or a bushing. So that solves that. Simply drop him in the hole. We spread the legs. We arm it, so in fact the fish comes by, pops that up. Another nice feature of these two versus the standard polar type tip-up, which are a great tip-up, have accounted for countless millions of fish, is if we have drifting conditions, they don't drift over. We don't have wind trips on the flags. These things are foolproof. If it's drifting, I let them drift. It's actually somewhat of a positive thing because it keeps the hole from freezing. You just dip the snow away from it and you're right there in action. You got everything ready to go for you. So this one's set and we're good to go. But the bobber is gone, so he has taken at least a few feet of line out. Another key to this is just don't jerk for it. Basically, you're feeling for a bite, similar to like Lindy rigging. Just wait till you feel some weight, and then you can set the hook. Just, yeah, just playing with it. At times you can tease these fish, just putting a slight amount of pressure on it, and they'll pull back and commit. I'm not so sure this guy isn't swimming towards me. So I can feel weight, but just not much. There, I got him. It's not a big fish, but we got him nonetheless. And a little walleye in the middle of the day under these bright conditions, which tells me several things. One, we're in the right spot. You know, it's probably a 15-inch, just nice, healthy fish. Two, come evening, this should get quite good. This is a notorious night lake. The waters are crystal clear. So if we're able to get a bonus walleye or two during the day, this bodes well for the evening. It also gives us a little indication of what depths are running. This one is just outside the weeds, just off some rocks. So, you know, we should be good. We should be able to pull a few jig in here. We'll send him back, rebait, you know, hope to find some bigger models come evening here.
Well, Dave, we're running a bunch of tip-ups. I see you're not. What are you trying to do here?
Well, I'm just hopping around hole to hole here a little bit, and I got it's a Lindy darter. It's a little, resembles a little crankbait, about an inch and a half long. It's got rattles in it. I like to put it down there and shake it a little bit, and it makes a little racket. Sometimes it calls them in, it seems like. And I've been only here on this hole for probably 5 minutes. I had one come up, smack it, that I missed, and I had two other ones come up and look at it that didn't take it. So.
Now, I see you just started this, like you said, 5 minutes ago.
Yep.
Why now?
Well, getting late, a little bit later in the day, you know, and I see all the tip-up flags going up, so I know the fish are getting active. So I figured I'll hop in the middle here and see if I can coax one into biting.
That sounds like a plan to me. I've got one. I'm using a Salmo chubby darter.
Yeah, basically, I seen what you're using. Mine's about the same size. I'll bring it up here and show you. It's I got a gold one on. But,
which would be an imitate a gold shiner also.
And
I've got a perch, kind of fire tail perch on.
Yeah, and it's got a rattle in it. So a lot of times I'll pick it up 6-8 inches on the bottom and just shake it, and so it rattles down there. And a lot of times you'll see a fish come in and you'll pick it up and give it like a 6-8 inch twitch occasionally, which it shoots it off to the side. And I've had really good luck with them in the past, so I figured I'd check it out. Of course, you never know what color they like. You know, sometimes they like white, sometimes they like gold.
Well, I'm going to go grab the one we were just talking about. I might change to a brighter color as it gets darker. Something a little more fluorescent.
Yeah.
I think I've got a fluorescent orange and gold one in there.
But it appears the fish seem to be moving around pretty good, because I've had, like I say, I've had 3 fish come in so far,
6, 7,
and
6
not
minutes.
very long. In fact, while you guys were walking up to check that check that tip up there that went off, I had one smack it. He raised up and gave it a good crack, and I didn't get him. So.
Okay, well, good luck.
Yeah.
Little bitty guy. Real little bitty guy.
Oh!
There you go. find that interesting, Dave. You watch me go to 14 tip-ups with baby fish. You go to one. How the heck's that work?
I don't know. Just gotta be lucky, you know.
Yeah.
It's a nice fish. I was gonna say that one felt like you had a little more weight to him.
One thing we were alluding to on these fish, even though they are hooked deep, it's no problem
Going through the gills.
to pop that hook out through the gills. Just fell out. There's no blood. There's no nothing. You're not hurting these fish by letting them take those baits. So yeah, I don't know how long is that fish.
He's got to be 19, 20.
Oh yeah, yeah.
20-inch
So.
fish.
Yep. Just a nice, healthy fish.
Nice
Yeah.
fish.
And I think we're going to hopefully see a little more of this come dark. You know, we're seeing a lot of these smaller fish leading up to this. We have had some drops, but you know, this is what we're after.
Yeah.
Tip-ups are working for us. We're getting close to that magical time here. We'll let this go. We'll get it baited up, and hopefully we can pop a few more.
Northern come through the hole.
Are they?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
Film the release.
he's sitting right there. Grab him. Get your hook back.
Did you get him? Look at that. Hook saved.
All right.
Give him a kiss and let him go.
I don't think so, Willie. All right. Good job. Got one on?
Bigger one?
Little guy.
But he pulled. At least there was a tug on the end of the line. That's what we like to have. Put him back and he'll get bigger. Maybe. There he goes.
What were we using on that one, Davey?
It's a little white pimple
There he goes down.
with a tipped with a fathead head. Give him a little scent down there and a little action, and he wanted breakfast and I gave it to him.
A little better one, though.
Yeah. I'm looking at my line to see if it's gonna snap. I don't think it is. There we go. One notch. They keep getting a notch bigger each time.
Yeah.
A couple more notches.
Catch 15 more of them, you'll have an 18-pounder.
Yeah.
Why is that color so different from what we saw yesterday?
Super clear water in the weeds.
Yeah.
Super clear water in the weeds, I think.
This Lake Marstein.
Yep.
Another little northern.
The enemy's just crisp. Let such a night
Okay.
We're sitting out here enjoying a nice afternoon of fishing out here in Roy Lake in South Dakota with Ken Anderson of Warrior Boats. We're just starting to bring up the conversation of where Warrior's at, you know. What do you think of your first year back here?
I'm pretty happy with how our 2013 year went. We were sold out with our model year about the second week of April.
Really?
So that was a good year coming out. We ended up producing 84 boats in
Okay.
2014 for our model year, which is really good. Our goal for 2013 is in that 100 range. You know, it'd be nice to surpass that, but we're still working through the kinks of production and getting all that stuff finalized and getting good at that. Some exciting stuff we got coming from going into 2014. We signed some new dealers. We have another new dealer up in Canada, so all the way up 3 dealers up in Canada right now.
Great.
Thomas Motors in Saskatchewan is our newest dealer up there. We also signed Aberdeen Sport Recreation
Right,
in
who I
Aberdeen,
work
South
with,
Dakota. So that
Yeah.
was pretty cool, you know, getting some new dealers out there to work with and spreading the knowledge. We're working that eastern market a little bit. We got Drummond Marine in Holland, Michigan. So we're getting out there. So right now we have dealers spread from Holland, Michigan, all the way up to Edmonton, Alberta.
You guys, I mean, these are fishermen's boats.
Yep.
These aren't boats that a company's trying to sell to fishermen. I mean, these are fishermen's boats that were designed by fishermen, and that's their specific purpose, and they do well at it.
Yeah, we don't claim to build a ski boat or this or that. We build a fishing boat.
Right.
We got a lot of family orientated boats that can be used. We got ski pole options and whatnot for 2014, which makes it a lot better. But yet, that day after you're out in the water skiing and you want to go fishing, you have a fishing boat.
Right.
You have a great multi-species fishing platform to fish out of that you can take our 18-foot class boat and go to Lake of the Woods and feel safe. It handles the water very well. Tracking, you know, the fishability of our boats are just second to none. But yet you can throw that ski piling in that 1898 or 193 and take the kids tubing or skiing.
Right. You know, and then back to the fishability, you know, and the big water aspect, that's what I appreciate. You know, I fish Hawaii a lot, and that's notoriously nasty. It just is. It can be tough, rough water. And we make big runs. It's nothing to make 40, 50-mile runs. You can do so in comfort. Then when we get there, the boat is fishable. It's not so high-sided that it gets pushed around in the wind. I mean, when you're trying to follow structure, you can do so. It sits down in the water nice. You know, the fishability of where your arms lay, you know, especially with your live bait techniques. I mean, that's very important to me.
And a lot of the tracking and the fishability of our boats comes back to the hull design.
Yep.
And the keel. You know, our keels, it's given the Smart Trolling keel as a name, but it's a keel that actually drops 3 inches below the aft of the boat. So your keel and your skeg of your motor work hand in hand.
Right.
So you can't get one or another blown around, and if you go into a drift, it drifts nicely evenly too.
Yep. And that leads back to a lot of the techniques we use on Hawaii. A lot of drifting stuff, a lot of wind-driven fish on points and that type of thing. And you need to hold on these fish, and you can. You know, you really can. And then you also have the option. I'm not a tiller guy, but they're darn sure are guys that they can do. They can literally park on a spot.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, and one thing that a lot of people don't look at on the keel of a boat with a deep keel, you know, it's you always talk about tracking, but the other thing that does is it gives that boat the ride.
Yep.
It keeps your hull in contact with the water when you're running in that rough water, so you don't get that hull slap.
Exactly.
You know, and Warrior's never been known as the race car of the fishing boat industry. You know, we're the Cadillac, and you know, you take us out and put us in some 3-footers, and we'll show you the Cadillac, and then we'll race.
Well, then that's just it. When you get in rough water, then it is the fastest boat.
It is, by hands down.
That's what I'm running is 203, and I do
Yeah.
like that. I'm getting older, and by God, I finally broke down and have a full windshield boat,
Yeah.
and I enjoy it. You know, I
Yeah.
do, and you know, the long runs that we take, it does help.
You know? Yeah, and the one thing you'll notice on our windshields on our boats is, I'm not going to say nobody, but very few of the glass manufacturers out there have a windshield when you're sitting at the driver's seat that you can sit in a regular pedestal seat and not be looking at the windshield brace. You're actually behind the windshield.
You know, and that's a key point. And, you know, and I sit up, I'm a fairly tall guy, and that's a problem I always had. Yeah, it's great to have a windshield, but it basically deflects the wind right up into your face. You know, so this actually is truly a windshield.
Yeah, that you can hide behind and be dry.
Yep, exactly. You know, and we're not getting a lot of water splash because of the design of the boat, but if you get rainy days, that's huge. You're not having that doggone rain here.
Yes, I would say right now the pro staff I have is very great. I mean, I have guys that if you're looking at a new Warrior and you want to go for a test ride, my dealers can get a hold of me and I get a hold of one of our pro staff members and they'll come and give you a test ride. I mean, one-on-one test ride and take you out, and I mean, a lot of times they've made half-day fishing trips out of it.
I was just going to say, a test ride's going to turn into you're going to get to go fishing with some of the best sticks out there. You know,
Exactly.
so there's a definite advantage of that.
Yeah, yeah. you know, and
Don't feel like much. Oh, there we go. Baby eye. The future.